Hey everyone, how are you doing tonight or today, depending when you are seeing this? This is Roger, of course, Grubus Games Unlimited, creator of Dungeon Crusade, and welcome back to, I don't want to screw it up this time, part 5 in our unboxing of Dungeon Crusade. We're going to be looking at the Crusader of the Realm and the Master of the Realm. First of all, welcome. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Good start to the week today. It's Monday. And I hope everyone's doing good. Real quick, there's been a lot of new subscribers to the channel. Again, really, thank you from me and everyone that worked on the game. We're very happy that you're here. We hope you're enjoying all of this stuff, and your time is valuable. So thank you for spending it with us. And hopefully this is some fun times and exciting times looking at all this. So welcome. And comments, that is what I have to get to. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. If you looked up Firestorm in the dictionary, it would be like the last week with Dungeon Crusade. Holy cow, it has been so nuts. And I just want to be very honest with you and tell you I have to get caught up on the comments on YouTube, on the Dungeon Crusade Facebook page, on my Facebook page. There's a few emails I have to get to. I probably have about 50 to 60 comments, but I will get to all of them, I promise. I love talking to you guys, so please bear with me. Once this is all wrapped up, I'm going to have tons of time, so I wanted to say that. I hope you don't skip through this. I have a huge announcement to tell you that I've been wanting to say for a while. I've been messing around, doing some stuff with the game, and I have something to tell you that you're going to be very excited about. So stay tuned for that. We're going to get to that. Also, I had to write notes today because there was so much stuff. Okay, so real quick, we are going to be going over the Crusader of the Realm edition. This is the edition that comes with the Avalon Adventure board game. And some of you guys know how passionate I was about creating that game. It's a choose-your-own adventure, but with a twist. I literally lived in the land of Avalon creating that, and we're going to take a look at that tonight. What I'm going to do, though, is we're going to stop that video after we open that, and then I'll start a new video, which will be part 6, and go to the Master of the Realm. But what I want to say is, and I'm glad because I didn't put this on my notes, we're not going to look at all that prior content that we looked at in the Knight of the Realm. We already saw that. So we're going to pull out just the content that is exclusive to each edition. Okay, so just real quick, Crusader of the Realm, you get the base edition, you get the Avalon Adventure board game. The Master of the Realm comes with, you get the Crusader of the Realm, but you get the extra 3 House of Chance games. So I think you'll enjoy checking out the 3 extra House of Chance games. So that, right here, and I've been asked this so much, and I want you to know how I'm very grateful for this. Many people have asked about these cloth maps of Avalon. It's these huge maps, and I designed this land years ago, gave my digital rough draft to Damien Mamality, who is an artist who worked on The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, and his work is phenomenal. So he kind of like traced over my prototype with his amazing art and creativity. So everyone's asking, and this is why I'm grateful that people would love to have one of these maps. That makes me really feel good. I don't think I have to tell you how much passion I put into creating this. After we get the game shipped, we're gonna get more of these things made, and we'll have them available for you. I promise you. If you want them, we'll do whatever we can for you. And I just want you to know I'm very grateful for you asking about that. So big cloth maps of Avalon will be on the way, and I will keep you up to date on that. So I wanted to touch on that because so many people ask about that, and it just makes me feel great. So thank you. Something very important that this is, hopefully no one skip past this to hear this. I'm leaving you a link in the description because I think there's a lot of people unaware of the many different things you can do with this game. You know, it was paramount to make it unlimited replayability, but if you don't know this already, you're really going to be blown away with all of the little tweaks and adjustments and options you can do with the quite innovative scenario system. When we pull out the scenario book, I am going to touch on this, and I'm not going to talk about all the stuff you can do. Trust me, those of you who know this, there's a lot. So I'm going to leave that description. Please watch that, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised what everything you can do. So check that out. And I'm looking at my notes that I scribbled, and I can't read. I was doing it very, very quick. But anyway, check that out. The huge announcement, and I think you're really going to like the sound of this, and I am super amped up. And the best thing is, what I'm about to tell you will be free for you. People, and it's actually Luna Dips. If you're watching, I think, hello, Luna Dips. I hope you're doing good. You asked me for the address change. Go ahead and get that to me, and we'll get that taken care of. He brought up about the campaign system that I said a while ago, and it was actually called Legends Must Die. Well, through the course of time and just over the years, I've put together a very interesting campaign system, but it's not going to be called a campaign system. I have a very cool name for what exactly this is, and I'm going to be tight-lipped right now because it's a really good formula for how you're going to play Dungeon Crusade. And what I wanted to do for people is address common concerns that people have with board games. Dungeon Crusade in itself, like the official way to play is very grand and epic, and I would never change that. I love huge footprint games, and that's what Dungeon Crusade is. But with this campaign system, and when you see it, it's a campaign system, but not really. It is going to address like things. You're going to be able to get this out quick and play it. I can tell you this much too, that you will play with 4 heroes. You're going to select 4 heroes at the start of this, and I'm being careful. This journey. So 4 heroes. Also, that this campaign system is going to be using limited content. So on your table, it's going to fit very nicely. Like if you can imagine, you're going to definitely have your village board and your dungeon UI board, but then it's only going to take about this much up, and it gets you to the table quick. There's some content that I'm going to be producing, and a couple pages of a rule book on how to modify a few things. And after writing 6 rule books for Dungeon Crusade, this is like child's play to do that. So if you like the sound of that, it's going to get you into the game quick, and it's just going to use limited content for different things. And the nice thing is, picture a big closet of Crusade content right here. For what this is going to be, you're just going to pull out certain things, set it up, start playing. Play with 4 heroes. And yes, Albus the Fetch Hound will be in this. So my point is that not only this, you're going to experience this new way to play Dungeon Crusade. And I am really thrilled to show this to you when it's ready. It will be in the expansion, but I want to get the content in your hands, at least a demo of it, because you guys are going to have the game. So maybe you could do some beta testing, play it. I think already you're going to love what this is. And again, it's a much smaller footprint, and it'll get you going into the game a lot quicker. I think you're really going to enjoy just what this is. And what else? Last thing, then we're unboxing, promise. Dungeon Crusade is huge. I was saying it's huge, but I want you to know that it was important that I designed this with very easy game mechanics. I mean, hopefully just from what I've talked about prior, and you've seen very, very easy stuff, that you can remember. That's the thing. You can retain it. There's nothing really complex about it, but it is a girthy game. I learned Mage Knight, the board game, years ago, and I draw the line with that. I draw the line there. Awesome game. And so it's nowhere near that. So easy game mechanics, but there's just a lot of them. So that's what I wanted to tell you. So, but the big thing is that announcement. So just stay tuned for that. And remember, just you can create your own quests, your own scenarios, and of course mods. But this campaign system, it's going to be called something else, is going to be an official variant. So it's kind of like it's 2 games in one. But remember, this is like an open source. You can create mods and do whatever you want with this game. So, okay, so now we are done. And guess what? It's time to open the Crusader of the Realm edition. So let's get going on this. And I brought out, if I can remember where I put it. Here, I'm going to show you something. I got to grab something. If you notice, there are some pictures. There were some pictures at the start. I took out the Cavern of Lost Souls and the Castle Blackwood board, one tile, and I gave a sneak peek. If you go over to the Dungeon Crusade Facebook page, of course, it's not going to be clear because it's in that. Well, actually, hold on. Let's do this. You can see some sneak peeks of Castle Blackwood and this. It came out very, very nice, and it really, hits it home. And I took it out of the plastic, so it's really nice and clear. So this is part of the. Look at that. It's hard because it's got that glare, but very detailed. Again, Wingo Games did an amazing job. Look at that. And this is for the Cavern of Lost Souls. It's an outdoor-indoor kind of thing. So if you picture the cavern is right here, there's the Crypt of the Betrayer right here. So this is kind of a secret dungeon in the back, and it's for a race of creatures that I'd like to introduce into the expansion. So there's a quest about it that there's Dugan's excavation camp kind of like down here, and they were digging in the cavern, and the workers discovered this ancient kind of primordial dungeon. And Sean Ellis painted it. I gave him the blueprint that I came up with, and he did an amazing job. He toned it down a bit because it was quite gory with what I created, and I'm glad he did. So there's Pit of the Blood God. But again, head over to, there's a link in the description to the Dungeon Crusade Facebook page and take a look at all the high-def pictures, and there's doors are set up pieces. But really, an amazing, amazing dungeon. So I thought you'd like to see that. And I hope you don't mind me telling you all this. I love hanging out with you guys and showing you all this. So, quest card, put that there. Okay, I have to grab something because it's going to come into play and something that we took care of for you guys. And I got to see where I put it. Bear with me for one moment. Okay, I'm back. We're going to talk about this in a sec. So let's get this thing out. And again, we're only going to pull out the content that is, what's exclusive to this edition, if you will. So I think that should be a good angle, right? Out there. And I know I kind of said it again. I just want you to know, thank you for all of it was overwhelming, like the views that this got, this series. So it's really nice to hang out with you guys and just thank you. Love you guys. So let's open this up. Kind of the same thing. Real quick, glad this is on top. And yes, we're going to touch on this. We'll take the first scenario here, which is Into the Depths. So again, watch the description. I am just going to skim over this. This is the first scenario in the book, and this is kind of the quest system, or not quest, the scenario system I came up with. Don't be intimidated by this, okay? And that's something I was going to tell you too. When I teach you the game, I think as the creator, it's my responsibility to teach you this. I came up with a really good format. We're going to start at square one and introduce a little bit of content and then add more to it. So don't worry, I'm going to get you acclimated to this in no time. But I worked with Kesrick Lassen. She did the final thing, gave her the prototype. I want you to imagine this let's say that this is, I think most I like those retro PC RPGs from the late 80s, early 90s. Picture this like an option screen. All of these are like levers, switches, dials, sliders. There's 6 different difficulties, 3 different game modes, and you can tweak and adjust all of this. We're going to get into all this, like the seeding component here. You're going to grab those tokens, and this is like your random dungeon generator. So even with the quests that are set up, that's kind of random. You'll never see that in the same order. And just like this, definitely with the seeding of the dungeon, that's kind of like a little aspect of a random dungeon generator. But all of this stuff, if you notice, all of this can be tweaked. And I talk about it in that video, but I thought for some of you who might be new, you haven't seen this before. So besides the 3 different difficulty decks, and all the ways you can play, you're going to really love all the stuff you can do. Notice like there's a die here. So you could either select, if you notice it says, novice, easy, normal, hard, you can go just right down and play a very novice game, which is a cakewalk, very, very easy to beat. Or you could select different options. Go down here, you probably have to jot down on a piece of paper what you want. Or if you're a crazy Crusader, don't try this on your first game, please. See the D6? You roll a die for each entry, and whatever comes up, that's what you're going to play. So you let fate decide your game. And again, it was paramount to create this for people, to give you a new way to enjoy Dungeon Crusade, so it's always replayable. It's okay, I'm going to shut up. Said that. So again, we have our manual, just like in the other one. We have our village board right there. We have our dungeon UI board right here. So remember, those just stay static. You're not going to be doing anything. And someone had mentioned, and I've said this way in the past, I was very critical about the components. So these are nice, thick tiles. And I want to tell you that even in my proof game from months and months ago, tiles lay nice and flat. And I was very particular and told them, it's very critical. So even in my proof copy of the game that wasn't even as high quality as this, they lay flat. They did an awesome job. So we're going to set this content aside. And now we're going to get this out. This is like we looked at. This is the damage tokens, life force tokens. Life force, think of that as like XP damage. We looked at that. I just really want to let me get all these punch boards out of here, because I just need one board to show you with all this. Okay, so since you already know the Knight of the Realm, here's what's exclusive to this. You're going to get this punch board here. And this is for the Avalon Adventure board game. And yeah, look out for those who know me. You know how much I love this game. And I'm very excited for people to play this. I think you're going to have, to me, the Crusader of the Realm is going to probably be the new base edition, because you can play Dungeon Crusade by itself. But this kind of ties in heavily to that. You play this first, journey across Avalon, you got to find the 3 runes of eternity. Notice right there. However, there's some fake ones. So every game, these are randomly put out with the system I came up with. Very easy. Every game, these runes of eternity, these are the real ones, these are the fake ones. If you get the fake ones, you can cash it in and do a re-roll in the game. And those are rejuvenation potions. When a hero quaffs one of those down, 3 health, 3 essence are restored. And you can carry these into Dungeon Crusade. So my point is, once you find the 3 runes of eternity, you've got to make it back to Hope's Reach. This breaks the curse on the dungeon doors. You enter into the dungeon, and you import your heroes, if they survive, into Dungeon Crusade. Right here, this little flag, I came up with this idea of, that represents the heroes in Avalon. So you can see it's like you can use like one of the plastic bases. These are tracking tokens. You're going to punch these out, and you use these to track your progress of where you've been in Avalon. And there's some strategy involved with this, and we'll talk about that. So let's set that aside. Again, this is all just the stuff we saw before. Get this out. Okay, here's what we want. Here's the board of Avalon and why I got that other one out. So you're going to be getting this. You're going to be getting this. It's called the battle board. I worked with a local artist named Christian Colbert. Hello, Christian, if you're watching. Look forward to working with you in the future. So this is for the Avalon Adventure board game. You're going to be going into dungeons, crypts, tombs, towers, whatever. So you're going to be using this for the battles. It's called the battle board. And then if you flip it over, I wanted to have an outdoor scene. for when you're battling like in a forest or what have you. So that is your battle board. And again, it's just a thin little thing, but it's not going to bend or anything. It's just used, put it on the table, and you put your miniatures and some other things on it. And you can get more thematic with that for some other things we're going to discuss. So there you get your battle board, little dungeon tile, and then this. And I think that's about it. We saw that. There's all that. The plastic things, the dice. I didn't show that. That's your clips for your hero cards, and everything else, guys, is just so you know it's all the same. Okay, and you can see I've not opened any of this. I've been too busy to open any of this. Friday night, I meant to do the other thing Friday night where we're going to hang out. We'll do that this Friday night. I think I'll have time because I have to do the monthly Kickstarter Dungeon Crusade update and get everyone there up to speed. So let's open this up. And again, I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised when they experience this. So this is kind of, let me put this down. Okay. We're going to make mention to these things too. Adventure cards. I love this game. And I think you guys are really going to love it. So let me just give you just a quick pan over because I know you probably want to see all that. So, I did all the graphic design, all this. I took the map of Avalon, divided it up into these different regions. So you can see like right here. And I will tell you this, like I'm going to show you the proof copy. Hopefully it comes into focus. Let's try that. So you can see it. There you go. Tower of Kings, Sea of Anguish. There's Salem Port, Ruins of Hextor, Dungeon of Daggereth. Who can tell me where I get that one from? Childhood memory, a very good childhood memory. Logan's Tower, the village of Tal, that's where Albus came from. That's his origins there. Whiterun Chapel, Old Orchard Grove, Hope Streets. The heroes start here every game. Notice the fate track. Real quick, that's if a hero perishes, there's an angel that will restore. You can get resurrected. However, you got to put a token there. If you ever reach the skull, that's it. You've lost. Restart. This is very important. Unexplored and explored. You don't want to go back to an explored region. I might leave that a secret. You always wanted to go to an unexplored region. And that's kind of the strategy. So like when you start out here at Hope's Reach, you go where you want. God, I love this game. I really love this game. You start here, you plot your course. Those tokens I showed you, the Runes of Eternity. I'm really tempted to punch these out and show you. But you're going to punch those out. On the back, notice that, see like how they all have green, yellow, red. There's, all like that. When you shuffle those, of course, you're not going to know where the real Rune of Eternity is. There's going to be two blue ones and, of course, the real one. Well, what happens is the system I came up with, notice how there's like green banners here, like by Witherbrook, the ancient runes. And there's kind of like this, I call them yellow but tan, like right here, Wren's Crossing. Make sure I get that in focus. And then there's red ones down here by, the Cavern of Lost Souls, the File Tower. Wait till you go into that tower. I created like 5 different levels of this tower, depending on where you're going to explore. So anyway, so you notice there's red, yellow, tan, and green. It's on the adventure cards like that. So what you do is you shuffle the tokens, you pull 3 adventure cards from each zone randomly. You place you place all of these there. Of course, they're shuffled, you don't know. Totally replayable. You'll never see the same thing again. So your heroes have to explore Avalon to find the right Runes of Eternity. But my point is actually one just fell off. Every time your heroes explore, you start up here, you put one of these down after you've done the event there. Then, you put another one down. So you track your progress. When you find the 3 Runes of Eternity, you got to make your way back. if it has a red token, that's been explored. And I want to get off this. Basically, when you go into an unexplored zone, you're going to roll a d12. And you're going to go off the adventure card here of what it says. Okay? So 1 to 2, 3 to 4 results are usually not good. There's 2 outcomes for each of those. 5 and 6 are kind of neutral. It just kind of gives you some of the lore that I wrote. And then anything higher are rewards. And I wrote in here, there's 269 different events, encounters, battles, situations. I'll link it also. Watch the Avalon Adventure board game demo. I'll keep talking. I won't shut up. But this is something I was so passionate about for people. And this is something I wanted to tell you. I wasn't just going to say, you know, there's 4 dungeons. Okay, here's Avalon. It's a fantasy land. Enjoy it. No, it was, I never would do, I could never live with myself. It was about going to each location, Castle Blackwood, and, you know, the village of Deadwood, right here, who used to live on Ghost Isle. And it used to be called, it was a place where they lived, and they had to flee to Deadwood because they're cursed. So I got to shut up. The Tower of the Maidens. So my point is, every time you go to one of these locations, you're going to experience something off the adventure cards. So my point is, by rolling, and you randomly select heroes, you're always going to have a different adventure. The Runes of Eternity are going to show up differently. You're going to probably go a different way. Without giving you too much, maybe in the crags, your heroes will get lost and you'll come out somewhere else. Maybe there'll be a sandstorm that's going to force something to happen. You have no idea what you're about to experience with this, and I just love creating it. The Witch House, new faction in the game, coming in the expansion. When I did that, there's different ways to get into the Witch House. There's a cellar, there's a window. You can go through the front door, but some really creepy things happen in the Witch House. I hope you're seeing this. You know, when you go down to the ancient ruins. So, and I'm going to get into this in the spotlight video, but just imagine when I wrote this, it talks, you know, about going to a southwestern chamber on the 2nd level, and you walk into, you know, a dungeon room, and there's like a blue glow to it, and there's actually a hidden room, and your hero's going to have to roll a d20 and do a wisdom check to see if they can discover that secret area. And if they do, there's treasure. Hopefully you know what I mean. So just picture like, okay, here's the upper land, but like the runes of Ashenfall, you're going to journey up this tower. And when you're walking up those winding stairways, be careful something doesn't come rolling down the steps and you have to do an agility check. You can go into the cellar. You can go into the 2nd floor, depending on where it comes out on the adventure cards. So just like there's kind of stuff above Avalon, and in a way, I wrote what's underneath Avalon. And a lot of secrets about what's coming, especially in the Black Nether dungeon. Right there, there's a big secret to the game inside of there, and that's a very creepy place. So Avalon, you go above and you go below. That's how passionate I was about giving people something truly innovative and creative. You're going to absolutely love this game. I'm dying for people to play it. In the expansion, I want to build more onto this and give you more. Another 250 at least cards to add to this to make it even further, and some other things. Where was it at? This is what I was going to show you, and I think we'll cut this. I got to get this uploaded for you. Notice that this is a bifold design. I don't know if I told you this. I'm very critical for you guys, and I wanted this game to turn out perfect. This is actually a trifold design, wouldn't you say? So notice that. You know how nicely it fits back in there in the box. Well, the original one was this. And, you know, I knew that people were not going to want to store it like that, you know, because it's just, you can't fit it in the box. So I asked our project manager to, you know, please talk to the engineers and make it so it folds like that so you can put it back in your game box. But this was the original one from the proof copy of the game, like that. So we got that done. Guys, I think, seems like I was going to talk about more, but hopefully that's it. I hope you enjoyed, as I open this up before we fade out here, I hope you enjoyed, actually there was one more thing. So much to tell you, because I'm excited for you to play this. I honestly am. How could I forget? Notice right here, I put these banners here. There's a treasure chest. There's bronze, silver, and gold. We'll end with this. I'd love to do more, believe me. But what this is it's a chess system. So when you're setting up this game, and it's in the rule book, of course. I'd pull out the rule book, actually, if I had it. Let me point. You know what? Let me do this. That makes life a lot easier. Remember, you're not going to be learning this. I'm going to hold your hand and teach you this game. But this is the section about the Avalon Adventure board game. And again, I did all the graphic design. I wrote all this, and I think you'll find it very thematic. But, you know, of course, this tells you everything of how to play, how to set it up. It's actually very easy. Once I explain this to you, you don't probably even have to read this. And where is it at? Before we go, I even created a deadly plant that your heroes will run into, Scarlet Nightshade. And the stuff is not good if your heroes fall into a thatchet of it. Yes, I got that deep, where it has its own deadly plantation. And then, of course, there's that. Oh, it's quite a handsome index also. I was incredibly thorough with the index. Anyway, sorry. But my point is, when your heroes are going to find treasure chests all over Avalon. This is also randomly generated. So in the bronze chests, you're going to probably find maybe junk loot. You're going to find common. It's a slight chance you might find some uncommon and rare, you know, kind of so on and so forth. In the silver chests, you're going to find uncommon, the green items, rare, and maybe an epic. And finally, and if you find a gold chest, and all this could have junk loot, mind you. You're not guaranteed in this game to find shiny loot every time. You could find junk loot. And I had a good time making junk loot. But in the gold chest, there's a good chance you're going to find rare, the blue items. You could find purple, the epic, or you could find the legendary. You can carry that over into Dungeon Crusade. So whatever gold you find, whatever you find here, can be imported into Dungeon Crusade. And I think I'm going to shut up now. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm quite discombobulated over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this uploaded so you can watch it. And then coming back, we are going to open the flagship edition, the Master of the Realm. We're not going to go over this. We're going to focus solely on the 3 House of Chance games, Skulljack, The Adventures of Bravely the Knight, and Heroes vs. Monsters. Okay, guys, I hope you like this extended look at the Avalon Adventure board game. Watch the demo. You'll love it. It's from a few years ago, so you know we made it all in-house, but I think you'll totally get, if you haven't got this game just from this, you'll have some nice things to check out, and I think there's some combat in it. All right, guys, thank you. Truly, from the heart, I love you guys and all the new subscribers. There's a lot of excitement for the game, and I'm so glad we're done with this. Of the Realm unboxing. See you soon.